Bonjour à toutes et à tous les amis et bienvenue sur la chaîne YouTube de So Catch by Al. J'espère que vous allez bien, très heureux de vous retrouver aujourd'hui pour une toute nouvelle interview. A brand new interview with Saxon Huxley, former WWE superstar, former NXT UK superstar. Hi Saxon, how are you doing?
Aloha, I'm very good.
Yeah?
It's my first flight in 2.5 years. So I'm glad to be out of England. I'm out of the country.
Yes, it's nice to have you on the show today. But before the show, I wanted to do an interview with you because I like you very much. So
thank you.
Yeah. I think you're a nice guy. That's your first interview post WWE release, right?
Yeah. I haven't done any interviews since.
First, I want to know, like, you have this big beard. I tried to grow one, but it's not as good as you. For how much money will you shave your beard totally?
It would take a lot of money because people would be horrified of what I look like underneath. I think there would be a straight jacket quickly cast upon my body and I would be shipped off to the gulags if I was walking around the streets without this hair.
Okay, so yeah, probably a lot.
A lot of money.
I like to come back to your time in NXT UK because obviously
absolutely.
like this is a big part of your career. How much did it mean to you to sign with NXT UK?
It meant everything to me. NXT UK obviously was part of WWE, so as a kid watching wrestling, when I started wrestling, I always aspired to get to that company. And sometimes timing is everything in wrestling, and it just so happened that I was around when they were forming the first UK Championship tournament, and that was the foot in the door, and it meant everything. It was fantastic to be signed there.
Okay. Did you sign right after the NXT UK tournament?
I think the second day of the tournament in Blackpool.
So it was in
2017.
2017.
2017 January.
Okay. Good. So that's the way you get recruited, pretty much. Like
there was some tryouts in the previous years leading up to that. Which, looking back, I think they probably knew they were going to start something in the UK.
So of course,
yeah, I had a couple tryouts before the tournament, and then the tournament happened. It was quite quickly. It was a real quick turnaround. We just all got the call like this tournament's happening in Blackpool. It was really quick.
Who was in charge at the time? Was it William Regal, Bobby Brookside?
William Regal kind of was the one who was communicating with people. So he was Brookside was heavily involved. All the British flavour coaches, they all had a big part to play in producing the magic in Blackpool.
Okay. What was the most exciting thing in being part of NXT UK?
Just that we were creating something new. I always wanted to be part of something where everyone's just, their creative minds are flowing, they're just working with fantastic wrestlers who can help me, lift me to the next level. So it was the community spirit. Like we really bonded after a few years. As the years crept on, I feel like it became a real family, and that was the most exciting thing. The fact that we were trying to create a show that had a different flavor from everything else.
Yeah, and it was overseas. It was not related to America directly.
It was still under the umbrella, but we were trying to create something with a British flavor, some aspects of the old world of sport, mixed with current style, so a blend of different styles.
I felt that because I felt like wrestling in Europe is different,
very
generally from what's happening in the US, and I felt like somehow this group of people managed to get his own footprint on the WWE product in Europe, so that was nice.
It was really cool to see. I think the product was one of the best wrestling shows out there. I think people will look back in time and look at it like really fondly of like, wow, there was some really incredible wrestling on that show.
Who did you enjoy the most working with at NXT UK?
There was a bunch of guys. Unfortunately, I only got to wrestle certain people one time. Someone like Gunther, who I think is one of the best wrestlers in the world. I wrestled him one time on TV, and I wish we could have done it more. He's someone I look up to, and Tyler Bate, I think, is one of the best wrestlers in the world. I got to do a little bit with him in tag matches, but we never really got to do one-on-one. Ilya Dragunov, fantastic. Jordan Devlin,
Yeah.
incredible.
I like him very much.
He's one. He's just brilliant. He can do things that people can't do, and I'm glad he's getting the platform now to show everyone what he's going to do.
Tremendous
Yeah,
athlete,
come
yes.
to mind. There's so many talented guys in that
Okay.
roster. I really enjoyed wrestling. Axiom, he's wrestling as
Oh
now.
yeah, yeah.
He was an A-Kid.
A-Kid, yeah.
Unbelievable wrestler. He's like a chess player in the ring.
Okay.
Yeah, so
It was a nice time there.
very good, yeah.
Okay.
I have nothing but fond memories, fond times, fond outlook to move forward with, use what I learned there to...
So what will you be remembering from this period? Like professionally, personally, what do you keep from that time in NXT UK?
A mix of all those things you just said. I think I became a better performer, a better wrestler, in some ways a better person. Like through just being like 5.5 years in that company, being around that group, that crew, that's where I look back fondly on the things I learned, the experiences I had. It's just you can't replace stuff like that. It was just really fantastic.
Okay. During your time in NXT UK, I think you had some restriction linked to your WWE contract. It's still a little bit like people don't really talk about it. Can you talk about what were the restrictions in your
You mean
contract?
with the independent shows?
Yeah, to wrestle somewhere else, to do interviews somewhere else.
Yeah, there was a time when I think it stemmed from people getting hurt on outside shows, which you can understand if you're
Of course.
the employer.
And you're
if gonna
paying
get
every
hurt,
month, yes.
You'd rather get hurt on their shows
At home.
So I think it was just a case of looking after the talent.
Okay.
So we were all healthy for them. I think that's pretty as simple as that. Like they wanted us healthy and fresh for their show.
That makes a lot of sense.
I
It's
think that's,
totally
comes down to
understandable.
that. But again, it was nice to have that. There was a little period where we could wrestle on the outside.
I remember that,
It
yeah.
was nice, but I also understand why that stopped.
Okay. So you weren't really frustrated about not being able to wrestle outside WWE?
Not really frustrated that I couldn't wrestle outside. The only frustration ever was that I just wanted to wrestle all the time. Like, I would rather be for NXT UK. But yeah, I just wanted to. I'm the type of guy. I just want to wrestle every night. So
Okay.
the wrestling lifestyle suits me. I feel like I like living out of a suitcase. I like being on the road. There's something about that life that just like
It's empowering
fills
somehow.
my soul
Yeah.
with joy and happiness. And I think
Okay.
I work best as a human being when I'm constantly
Close to a wrestling ring.
close to wrestling. My mind is working. My body's working on it. You know,
Good.
the long gaps in between some of the TV tapings was I guess was a frustrating thing because you just want to wrestle.
I remember that. I was used to a talk with some friends that I got at NXT UK, and I know a little bit like the system, the processes that they were using with groups of people that have to come at certain time, and then you split, and then you shoot for 2 weeks, and then you...
There was some, yes.
It was very...
Some of it stemmed from the pandemic,
Yes.
the COVID stuff. So that kind of changed everything. Not just WWE, but
everything.
around.
Yeah, of
so
course.
we all had to
Of course.
maneuver around these restrictions and guidelines. So that's just what we were doing at that time. So
Okay. What was your reaction when you've been told that you are released?
at first it was a little sad. I mean, I thought, oh,
Of course.
I won't be around everybody. Like that's kind of, oh damn, that's the end of the tapings. But at the same time, I just instantly, the same day, I thought, you know what, let's take what I've learned, let's take all the experiences and just move forward, because nothing lasts forever. And I was there a long time, more than I originally thought. I didn't know what was going to happen. It was kind of the unknown, exciting, but I just embraced it. And I thought, let's get busy. Let's just get out there and get amongst the scene again and try and apply what I learned. So I was kind of excited to do that, like use what I learned to just get straight back out there. So real positive. I took it straight away and I turned it positive, and projected that.
Yeah, good mindset, I think.
I
The
think
best
so.
mindset possible.
I think it is, yeah.
I also know that because I know you a little bit that you like to share what you learned there. So thanks for you. Thanks for like giving that back to people, to young wrestlers and everything. I'm not a wrestler, but I can see like you're very kind and open on sharing what you've learned here.
I would like to, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I learned there that maybe I wouldn't use myself in wrestling, but I could hopefully give to people because, you know, I was once the guy, like,
of course,
taking his first bump.
Of course. While you were in WWE, did you had in the back of your mind the idea of maybe one day moving to the main roster in the US?
I just wanted to keep moving forward and progressing. It is always something you strive for. I just wanted to keep climbing in wrestling in that company. It was always something I would like to. It was a little goal sort of in the back of my mind. Let's just keep trying to do the best I can and see what happens from there. That was kind of my mindset of just always trying to improve and reach the next step.
And right now that you're a free agent, do you have a company that you want to wrestle for?
There's definitely some companies I would like to, but I really am just. It's only been quite a short time since we got released, so at the minute I'm just trying to get as busy as possible, just create a flow state and see where I want to see where wrestling takes me right now. I want to see what happens.
So you're open to any opportunity right now, just.
Yeah, I'm not closed off to anything right now.
Good to know. Okay.
I'm just excited about this unknown. The great unknown now is what is going to happen with wrestling. I think the scene is all over the place. I think things are like bubbling, waiting for something to happen.
I can feel that.
You can kind of feel something.
I can feel that. It's trendy again, a little bit, not booming. But something it's about to come out.
I think so. You can feel it, and yeah, all the shows I'm around, you can feel it with the guys, with the shows themselves, and the fans. So I'm just excited to see what comes. That's my current goal. Good.
Before NXT UK, you were well established on the UK indie scene.
I actually don't think I think I was one of the unknown from the first tournament. I think I was very unknown.
Yeah.
In the scene. Yeah. I trained abroad, so I think when I came back to the UK to try and get my foot in the door, I was quite unknown at the time of the tournament.
Okay, I didn't feel that way.
Oh well,
but okay.
Maybe that's just my own perception. But.
Okay, no, I knew a lot about the British scene because I lived in England, so I was used to go like in every show possible I could go.
Leeds, you looked, right?
Leeds and Nottingham.
Okay.
I spent time in Nottingham too. And I was used to go to show with like 30, 40 people. So I've seen a lot of wrestlers, and I think I saw you actually before NXT UK. So I knew you, and I knew most of the guys, and I was happy to see you there at the time.
Thank you.
It was nice.
Yeah.
But my point is like you shared the locker room with a lot of guys that are maybe a little bit more famous.
Yeah.
Do you have any fun story you could tell us about anyone you've worked with?
There's a lot of funny stories there. But
one that don't get trouble to anybody.
Yeah, no, I won't get anyone in trouble. There's a very funny story happened in California. You familiar with Hood Slam?
No.
There's a promotion out in Oakland called Hood Slam, and when I was over training with Brian Kendrick in California, we went on a road trip up to it's near San Francisco. Oakland's across the bay from San Francisco, and I was just there like tagging along, and it turns out they needed some guy to wrestle a cereal man, who is, if you think of the Great Muta, but he's a cereal box on his head.
Okay.
He spits milk instead of mist. So they needed an opponent for cereal man,
and you were there.
Well, they have this costume called Prawn Cena. It's John Cena's cap and attire with pincers like a prawn.
Okay.
So there was the battle of cereal man versus Prawn Cena. And we're both masked. We have the masks on. He's got the box, and the match is happening, and then just like the box falls off his head, like the costume falls off my head. So we just stood there like just two absolute idiots in the ring. And then I can see Brian just laughing his head off, like just watching out the curtain. So
that's what I like about wrestling. Like everything can happen. The best, the very best, like the very worst.
It was very funny and embarrassing at the same time. It was very funny.
You keep that as a funny story.
That's one that comes to mind, you know.
Okay.
That was from back when I was like sort of training.
So that was one of your first match too.
No, that wasn't one of my first, but it was back in like 2013 maybe, something around then. So back sort of when I was still just
a little bit green.
Traveling around a lot, training a lot, trying to just build a foundation of wrestling. And I don't think that was the best foundation to
the best match.
It was very funny.
According to you, why do you think WWE wanted to close NXT UK?
It's hard for me to specifically name one reason why.
Yeah, I think there is just not one reason.
Probably a number of reasons. Pandemic could have been contribution to a lot. Maybe just take a step back and rebrand. Who knows? I really don't know.
Okay. Do you think it's a problem with the fan that weren't interested in the TV project?
No,
because I felt like the TV show was working pretty well. So when they said that, okay, we're stopping that, I'm like, I wasn't expecting that, to be honest.
I think the British fans love wrestling, so I think there's always a market for British wrestling. So I honestly don't know. I think it was maybe something within the company, their vision. Maybe they wanted something there. So it's hard for me to say really specifically, but probably a multitude of reasons.
And at the beginning of NXT UK, so close to the NXT UK tournament, yes. Don't you think that WWE killed the UK indie scene because they contracted everybody?
I don't see it like that. I can understand why some people see it like that, but I think if you look at the bigger picture and zoom out, I think they created something. They created a performance center in the United Kingdom. Mm-hmm. I think they took a bunch of us, myself included. We got trained in just the best possible way by the best people, and then now we were at the time we were going out and integrating what we learned with the scene, and I think now there's a lot of us who can sort of help the scene and work with people again. So I think just long term, I think it actually could help. You know, I don't see it like they killed the scene.
Okay, it's interesting to have this global vision because I never thought this way, and I feel like you're right. Now that you're out, that's what I was telling a little bit before. You can give back what you've been taught.
And I think a lot of the scene, when people say, if people say WWE killed the scene, I don't see it like that. I think the scene was still there. It just needed the promoters and the bookers to organize in the right wavelength. And
maybe that's a good point too.
I think just having WWE putting their stamp and training a lot of people in the UK is only going to make everyone a better wrestler.
Okay.
In professionalism and presentation. And
of course.
Performing. So.
Of course. Okay. Have you heard anything about NXT Europe?
Only whispers.
What are the whispers?
No, I haven't heard it. No, nothing. Just what they officially put out. That, you know, nothing. I don't know any details. I don't know.
Because I know it because it's in everybody's mind in Europe. Everybody heard whispers.
Yeah, well, they announced that they're interested in something, so I hope something happens because I think the European scene could benefit from that. Mm-hmm. The British scene's always got more shows and it's a little busier in the UK than because it's so spread out. So
yeah.
I hope something happens because it would be nice to have some sort of web and network of Europe working together, and that would be cool.
Okay.
But I know as much as you.
Will you be back if they offer you a contract?
I'm just gonna, like I said earlier, my goal is just to get focused on wrestling. If something comes along, I'm hoping things come along, but I like to take that as it comes down the line. We'll see.
Okay.
I don't know.
What do you think about like the last changes that we've witnessed in WWE? So NXT Europe is one of the discussion on the table, but I think on the global picture, Triple H being the new boss offer more opportunities.
Absolutely.
What's your view on that?
I think the product is fantastic. I think it's the best it's been in years across the board. NXT, SmackDown, Raw, I think it's absolutely fantastic, right? I think the product has never been better for a long time. A long time. I think you can just tune in. I think it's easy to digest. I think there's some of the performers they have right now, like someone like Sami Zayn is absolutely on fire. He's magnetic, and Roman Reigns, the Bloodline. NXT, we were just talking about people like Jordan Devlin and Ilya Dragunov, Bron Breakker. Like these guys are fantastic to watch, and I think the product is fantastic right now.
Do you think it makes WWE a little bit more modern?
I think you can tell Triple H and Shawn Michaels, their vision is more modern. It's kind of moving in a. It seems to be working. Whatever they're doing. I think so.
I like the new direction that they're going in, because like everybody, I started watching wrestling with WWE.
Yeah.
So I'm a long time fan, and I really felt like the last years the product wasn't really for me anymore, and it made me sad because this is my first love, and you don't want to have this feeling about your first love.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they have this new direction. I don't like everything. Like I don't feel like everything is fantastic again, but I feel it's better. I'm watching some shows again. Yeah. So I'm really happy about that.
Yeah. I think as we get older, we're all adults. We're different. Like we have our lives. I think we all. It's hard to enjoy every single thing, and especially because we love it so much, we're going to criticize and see something.
Exactly.
We all have our favorite TV shows, our favorite movies that we can criticize like certain things, and just because we care, I think.
Of course. I know you're a calm and spiritual person somehow in your life. How do you manage to reconcile that with the brutality that you show in the ring?
That's a work in progress, a constant work in progress. I think life is about balance, and I know that sounds really simplified, but I think it's really important to find a balance between everything. Like, no matter what, there's always that like a scale where things can tip too far one way. Sorry, my microphone. So you've got to be in the. If something is just too far one direction,
you have to balance.
Things go in turmoil, so you have to have a balance. Like when we perform in the ring, like I need time to relax in my day-to-day life. Still a bit crazy, but we need the balance. Okay,
so it's your way to make it work all together.
Yeah.
Very good.
Sure.
And finally, last question of this interview: what is your Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling? It's a classic one, but I have to ask.
So I'm only allowed 4?
Yeah.
Bret Hart, Terry Funk, Jushin Liger, possibly. And then it's harder there. Maybe Jumbo Tsuruta.
I don't know him.
Really?
No.
Oh, he's great. You should.
Okay.
He's all Japan guy.
Okay, I don't know old guys. I don't know much about Japan. So old Japanese guy.
I like Kenta Kobashi and Jumbo. They're probably my 2 favorite. Well, with Liger, but like more heavyweight guys like Liger was. I just think Liger was so innovative.
I agree with you.
Bret Hart was my guy growing up. He's still my guy. I love Bret.
I like him.
I think his just storytelling ability was just incredible. I always cared about Bret. He was one of the guys that he made you care.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Terry Funk's the same. Like, how can you not love Terry Funk? He's just the best wrestler of all time. He's just incredible.
Yeah. I agree with you. It's a good Mount Rushmore.
That's maybe 4, yeah. Well, I did mention 5 names there.
Good. Okay, thank you very much, Saxon. Thank you for taking
Thank
the
you.
time. This is the end of the interview. It was a real pleasure to have you on the channel. So thank you very much. I hope to see you more on the shows in Europe. It'd be my pleasure.
Thank you very much. My pleasure. Thank you.
Hey, merci à tous les amis d'avoir regardé cette vidéo. On se retrouve très bientôt sur la chaîne YouTube de So Catch by Al. D'ici là, n'hésitez pas à liker la vidéo, la partager et à vous abonner si ce n'est pas déjà fait. On se retrouve très bientôt. Ciao, ciao. Bye bye. Et puis on n'oublie pas, comme d'habitude, on se donne rendez-vous sur la chaîne AB1 pour Raw tous les mercredis à 20h50 et SmackDown tous les samedis à 20h50 en compagnie de Christophe et Juste et Philippe Chéreau.